Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute card using the So Tweet stamp and thin cut set. I'm also going to be using, this is the stamp set I'm going to be using, and then I'm also going to be using papers from the mix-in collections and some canary and black cardstock. So I'm going to start out with White Daisy, and I'm going to stamp on the soft side of my Versamat in black ink. I'm going to stamp this little guy with the glasses. He is so cute. And then I'm going to be coloring in my images with the tri-blend markers. So I'm stamping out my little bird and then my sentiment, and I'm going to hand trim the sentiment out, and then the little butterfly. Okay, so now all my stamping is done, and I'm going to color in. Well, first I'm going to trim off this sentiment area, and then I'm going to color in my images. And I'm just using 2 of the markers, and there are 3 colors in each of these markers, so you get a good selection and a wide range of blendable colors. So now I'm going to color my little guy and do a little bit of shading. And I've sped this up super fast, but it's really simple coloring. I'm not going to get too detailed with blending and etc. So, okay, got him all colored in, and then I'm going to cut him out using the coordinating thin cuts. So if you have some purple tape or washi tape, it helps to secure your die in the right place so that it cuts out exactly where you need it to cut. So I'm going to run these through my Big Shot and cut them out. Now I have my little images. Okay, so we'll get the Big Shot out of the way and we're ready to start creating our card. So first I'm going to trim out my sentiment, and I'm just trimming it right. I'm straightening it out because I never stamp exactly straight. So I'm setting it up in my trimmer so that I can cut a straight line along the sentiment, and then trimming the ends off just enough so that I can hand trim a banner on, dovetail each of the ends and create a banner. Okay, so you just snip in the middle, and then you take each corner to meet that snip. So snip, snip, and snip. And I didn't quite get that one right, so I snipped again. Okay. All right, so there's my banner, and now I can start trimming my cardstock. So I'm kind of figuring out whether I want a white border, and I decided I did. So I'm going to cut my mix-in paper at 5 1/4 by 4, and be mindful of the direction. This is just polka dots, but the others are hearts. So be mindful of the direction of your pattern when you trim. So now I'm going to put my sentiment and my images on this heart paper. So I'm kind of figuring out how much I'm going to need. So the height is going to be 2 3/4. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a square, but I ultimately decided I wanted it to be rectangular. So I'm going to trim the width at 2 1/2. And I'm making sure that it's going to be the right amount of space. I'm using the measurements on my Versamat to measure. All right, so that's good. And then I'm going to cut a piece of black cardstock to border that, to mat the piece of mix-ins with the hearts, just 1/4 inch larger. And then I wasn't sure how much of the canary paper I was going to need. So it's always good to start large, and then if you cut it too large, you can always trim it down. So I'm going to start out at 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I felt like I was covering up too much of the black polka dots in the background, and my yellow was just too much. So I'm just kind of figuring out how much I'm going to want. I decided to cut off a 1/2 inch on each side. And I think that's going to work. And then I decided that I want it to be kind of like a Polaroid style matting, and I got some of the Wisteria ribbon. This is thin grosgrain ribbon, and I'm going to put a bow down below to coordinate with that little purple butterfly. Okay, so now we can start assembling our card. I've already packed up my Make It From Your Heart books, so I just kind of had to wing it, and I didn't have a pattern to go by, so usually I would have pulled my books and decided on a pattern and cut out according to the directions, but I just decided to wing it, and this worked. Not quite as easy as having the patterns from the books, but I made it work. Okay, so I'm going to trim out my Wisteria ribbon, and then I'm going to tack that down using glue dots. And the easiest way to get a bow on your card is to do the flat ribbon first and attach it with glue dots, and then at the end you just tie a bow in the ribbon and then tack that down with glue dots. So I'm going to pop this using some thin foam tape, and I'm placing it on my card just a little bit above center so that there's a little bit more below that yellow panel than above it. It's just a framing trick, and it's more pleasing to the eye. And then I'm going to place my matted heart paper down, and then I'm going to add all of my elements to the front also with thin foam tape. So pop all of those. So I have my little sentiment, You're So Tweet, and my little butterfly and my bird. He is just the cutest. Ever buy a stamp set just for one image? This is why I bought it. He's just so cute. Okay, so I'm tying my little bow with the Wisteria ribbon, and then I'm going to attach that using some glue dots. Pretty simple, but a very cute card, I think. So all of these supplies are currently available in my online store, and I will make a list of everything that I used with links in the description below. And you can shop at the URL in the upper right corner of your screen, or you can use the links to take you to a page to purchase these products. So I appreciate you watching my video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.